Back again live here at the Warehouse in Amityville, speaking to various businesses that really support and are centered around musicians and music. Here with Brian from Monster Music.
Monster Music in Levittown.
Monster Music. Oh, man.
Stop dreaming, start playing. That's been the company philosophy for many years.
I wish I knew that when I was I played the hell out of an instrument guitar at 16. I went to 22, but then I wish I had that mantra. Keep playing, and then you become the Steve Vai's of the world. So how do you support musicians? Tell me why you're here tonight.
Sure. So first of all, our shop is built on a couple of very important premises. One is that we want to provide a place for creative people to feel comfortable and welcome, and we have a very thriving lesson program in our shop. Part of the reason the philosophy is stop dreaming, start playing is that whether you're a 7-year-old kid or like a 75-year-old guy who's always wanted to play music, we make that possible. We create.
You create a culture where people feel comfortable starting even at that age.
We do, yeah. And so it's a place where making music, we're here. There's a stage right here. We have a big stage in the store. Mm-hmm. So we do open mic nights once a month, and those are open to the musical community. But for everybody who's a student at the shop, if you want to be up on that stage performing, cool. You're there. You just. I curate the open mic nights. Yep. But anybody who's taken lessons, again, last open mic night, we had this little 6-year-old kid, and actually his family's from India, and he's like, "Can I be in the open mic night?" I said, "Vishnu, of course you can." He gets up there and he shows up for the open mic night in a suit, and he goes, "I'm going to sing God Bless the USA." He's a 6-year-old kid. So. And we welcome, obviously most of the people who perform in the open mic nights are accomplished musicians, but it doesn't matter. It's
sure.
It's a real welcoming environment.
Mm-hmm.
And so we facilitate people being able to do creatively and musically what they've always wanted. And I guess the idea about this association is that different music businesses can sort of help facilitate growth and help facilitate an expansion of what is a very creative industry, and in the absence of thinking about how can we all grow and how can we all flourish, there's obviously a lot of obstacles to it. So the more that we can do to facilitate one another's growth and one another's creative expression, the better.
What do you see as some of the obstacles in 2024 that might be in front of us? One that I see, I don't know if it's an obstacle, but it's really weird, this concept of AI music. Using AI to create music, which is nothing, incredibly new, right? Because drum machines and rap and things like that have been around, but AI could bring, you could, at today's point, say, write me a song that sounds like a Beatles melody, and it'll write it. And that's a horrible feeling, actually, to even me say that. But I'm wondering, what challenges are you thinking are in front of us today?
Well, the concept of AI obviously is very, very, there's so many layers.
Correct.
Right? But I think that what it comes down to is oftentimes you can I think even identify when something is AI created. It just
at this point, yes.
Now that'll change, okay? Yep. But I think there's still a difference between something that is
human, heartfelt.
Yes. And
I agree.
I think we can still perceive when, I've heard a couple things. I'm like, that sounds
me
like
too.
Yeah. So, but it's a real question. It's a real issue. I think that the desire of people to create, to write, to perform, I don't think that's ever going to go away, even if you have a scenario where a computer can do everything that they're going to do and potentially even better than they're going to do it. People are still going to want to write and to compose and to create and to perform. But the truth is that there's lots of questions and lots of issues that are going to come about, and we haven't thought about a lot of them. Somebody was saying the other day too that the age that we grew up in. Mm-hmm. Was really kind of the last time before
Definitely.
Before technology was so ubiquitous. I'm 55, and I grew up at a very, very different time where where you needed to.
You need to go, for example, to a recording studio to
Yes.
make a recording.
Yes, you did.
And then the Tascam 4-track came out, and that kind of changed the world. And then you had people like, I just read really extensively about Eddie Van Halen and his decision. Very interesting, not to get too deep, but he became introverted to the band, and we know that story. And he got lost in his studio, probably too much, honestly, because, and who am I to say this? But he did get lost in the technology for a while there. And there's a lot of examples of that, where I know me, if I was to record today, even though I know how to record, I feel like I would like to go out and be produced and be consulted with and be sort of brought along. And that's what you're doing. I mean, because you say to yourself, what about the Sweetwaters of the world? What about the Guitar Centers of the world? And ordering online. How do you make that? How do you battle that? So you battle that through what we're doing here today, but also through the experience, right? And also having musicians come under your wing in terms of them wanting to perform. Because it only takes one time where somebody felt very empowered by you giving them the opportunity there. That's never really happening online. I mean, obviously it can happen in YouTube and like, but there's nothing like the live situation.
Well, there isn't, and there's also, and we say this to people all the time when they talk about reasons why they might want to have their child participate in our lesson program and participate in one of our open mic nights. And one of them is that there's nothing better than putting yourself in a situation where you're uncomfortable, right?
Yes.
Because life is going to throw so many situations at you where you're going to experience discomfort. And if you don't know what it feels like to navigate that,
you're lost.
You're doing yourself
Forever.
a real disservice. Yep. And so many situations where we have a store full of people and a performer, and again, even somebody who's in their 50s or 60s, it's the first time that they're getting up in front of a store full of people, right? They are
Adrenaline.
Right, but they are challenging themselves in a way that even if they're only around another 10 and 20 years, that's going to be a really important life marker, right? Yeah. So that's one of the things that we do.
Yeah, cool. So let's mention your website. Let's mention where you are exactly.
Yeah. So we're Monster Music. We're 3068 Hempstead Turnpike in Levittown.
I'm going to visit.
We're a half a mile east of the Wantagh Parkway on Hempstead Turnpike, across from the Tri-County Flea Market. We have a great shop. The shop again is a real creative space. We're a full line shop, so it's a great retail space, but it's like a mixed use space. We have a stage. We have we obviously do significant amounts of rentals and repairs, but it's got a raw warehouse look to it. So you come in, there's great like pods of inventory to check out. There's great instruments to interact with, but it's a great creative performance space. So welcome everybody in.
Fantastic. Any words for Rich and his endeavors and bringing this all together?
Well, you can always pick up an issue of Good Times magazine in the shop. In fact, we get some people, and it actually pisses me off sometimes. I won't tell Rich, but there's probably 10 or 12 guys, like the only thing they come into the store for is, where's the Good Times? Where's the Good Times? I'm like, yeah, well, listen, we do some other things there too, by the way. No, but we love Rich. He's a character. And
we love him.
But he's a facilitator, and that's what we all need to do, is facilitate one another.
Well, thank you. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Monster Music, excellent. Levittown.
You bet.
Thanks again.
Thanks, brother.